This week's Ladies Who Question is part one of a two-part sit-down with Turi Ryder, a well-respected and very successful national talk show host. Her name may be familiar to you. She is one of my sisters in broadcasting, as I like to refer to the women I've worked with in broadcasting. I have admired her ever since the first time I ever heard her on the air. Turi and I were on air decades ago at a Chicago talk radio station, but because I was on morning drive and she was holding down the evening shift, we didn't get to see or hear each other on the air or anything, or really even get to know each other, which was crazy, but that's the wild world of radio broadcasting, especially back then. So this time we sat down and we talked for hours, and most of which I kept in, but some of the stuff is just not quite ready for public consumption. I told you it's a crazy business. We talked about men, and we talked about birth control, and we talked a little bit about her radio days. I think you're going to enjoy this one. And if you do, remember, part 2 is next week. Happy freaking Mother's Day to all of you, because I'm a dog mom, and the two of you are regular, bona fide, out-the-body moms.
Certain days of the week, I would sign up for your gig.
I agree.
Much more than my gig.
I'm telling you, that's one good thing about knowing yourself. I knew the baby thing wasn't going to work.
Well, I knew I could pick someone who wanted babies, and then I could just leave the playing field for several years.
How is Save the Planet, by the way?
You know,
that's her pseudonym.
The spousal
for,
unit is called Save the Planet on the air.
In the book.
Now we just call him spousal unit.
God,
he doesn't even
great.
deserve the
he doesn't even deserve the designation?
No, he does. He does. He's very happy because he can plant a lot of seeds and give them to everybody in the neighborhood.
Oh.
And by doing this, he loves it, and I love him, and I love it that he loves it. But the whole to-do list that I compose carefully, repeatedly, emphatically, that goes on pause because it's the seed planting season. So the pictures I need moved can just jolly well wait, and the thing that I need to do with the entryway can also take a seed. And the one that's really stuck in my craw, have you ever manipulatively bought somebody something hoping you will get a result? Like, if I buy my girlfriend a smaller purse, she won't spend 20 minutes every time we're at lunch digging in her purse, or some version of this.
I've never done that, but it's just masterful.
Some version where
you
provide a thing in hopes that you will get a result.
I have. I
confess, what was the thing you bought and the thing you hoped it would achieve?
Okay, I bought him a gift certificate to the red light. What's that
district?
No.
Just checking.
What were you trying to achieve there?
No, it's not the red light.
I'd always never had an STD before, but maybe now.
Go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
What's the
so tempting though? Red light
at the sauna place, infrared
sauna place.
Yeah,
red light sauna place, and you think that's? I'm sorry.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful infrared sauna. It's right here. We have it here.
He wouldn't complain about his aches and pains
for a moment.
You know, like, I go, because we went because we interviewed the guy, and we got some free, a free sauna session, and it was great with the infrared.
I felt like I was 25.
Ooh.
Yeah. And he hasn't even used it yet.
Okay, because he likes complaining about it.
And I'm just like...
There, she's got it. That's exactly it.
I bought the spousal unit. He's a biker. He
I
bikes.
like the way you say spousal unit.
He bikes in the summer. He bikes in the winter. He had a road bike. He had a trail. He had all the different...
Boy.
When I met him, he barely had a car, but he had bikes that were worth more than my car. So about, I guess it would be like 10, 12 months ago now, and he's fine. He was hit by some left-turning person, and he flew off the bike, and he was mostly fine, but the bike was not.
Yikes. Oh, boy.
The reason that I know that my husband will not divorce me is that he always thinks that something's not done when it's clearly done. Right? Right. This bike lived in our entryway. We have a larger entryway where the fanciest bike lives. And it lived there in hopes that, I don't know, the way I describe it to people is, you know, those National Geographic movies where the lion is killed and then the cubs just keep kind of trying to nurse and poke them out in case she's not really dead.
That's so sad.
That was my husband in that bike. Like, maybe he could just do some. So I had this piece of hardware sitting in my entryway. The outdoors is his, the indoors is mine. In the entryway for a good long time. And finally I thought, there's only one way to get this out of here. And I toddled off to the fancy bike shop with a friend who bikes. And I bought a truly fancy bike for the spousal unit, thinking he will. And then they said to me, and you can bring in the old bike and we'll recycle it. And they said, and if there are any parts you want to save, my spousal unit brings the new bike in to be custom fitted. We give it for Night of Hanukkah. And he's very excited, but a little bit sad about the old bike because he's finally coming to terms with it. It's really, really dead. It's like that line out of The Wizard of Oz. Not only is she nearly dead, she's clearly and sincerely dead. He goes in with both bikes with the friend who knows about biking.
And he's still deeply attached to the
clearly
bike.
Because he came home with both bikes. The new bike fitted to him and the old bike that he said, I can take all of the components off. I'll get to the components. So that was Hanukkah, like December. It's still sitting there because now it's seeding season. So before it wasn't warm enough to deconstruct the bike, and now it's warm enough to be working in the garden. And this is a very long answer of saying it's my Mother's Day and not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Oh, some dahlias. That's what I get. More gardening stuff that he can do. He bought a bunch of dahlias. I love my husband very much, but gifts are not his strong suit, and getting rid of things, not his strong suit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's all right.
dear.
There are many other things. He could screw around. He doesn't.
Well,
he could drink and fall on the ground. He doesn't.
See, now, you know.
His vices they're okay.
Manageable.
Exactly. And
Manageable.
that is why I never got remarried, because I didn't find someone as good as Save the Planet.
Don't ask me to look. The last time I found for someone, we had to move her out in the middle of the night.
What?
Ooh,
Yeah, on paper, he looked good.
Oh, so you were working as what do they call those?
Matchmaker?
Matchmaker, but isn't there a Yiddish term for that, though?
There are a shadchan.
Okay, I knew I was able to
You
say
need a
that
cha
correctly.
for that. You got a cha? No, you got a cha? Pretend there's something stuck in the back of your throat.
I don't have a cha.
I got a cha and two kinds of R's that I can roll.
Wait, I have to rewind. What are you talking about? You were trying to fix somebody up in your house? Wait,
no.
I'm totally...
She wanted to fix up her
girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fix up your girlfriend.
With a guy who on paper looked like he'd be really great, and I knew him in his professional capacity.
Okay.
He was, this you find, you're from California, so you'll know. There are a lot of people who do really funky hippie type stuff, only they have really, really fancy degrees and they're highly qualified for things that they don't do. Right. I think this guy had a PhD in rhetoric from the University of California at Berkeley.
Rhetoric? What are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
Well, what he was a very successful contractor.
Okay.
And a surfer. And very good looking.
Well, he sounds hot for like a moment.
He was totally hot.
Yeah, but like he's like a temporary. Yeah, he's a trifle for me for now. That's how he reads to me.
Really? Well, I should have had you vet him before I fixed him up with my girlfriend.
I do not have a good track record.
He had horrific kinks and he was violent, and we had to extract my girlfriend in the middle of the night.
Oh, heavens.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Okay, well, I never had anything that bad.
Well, that's juicy.
Almost, but
like extract, like
we had to wait until he was at work, and then my husband, why he's a good guy, and a friend of ours went over with a rental truck and got all her stuff out of the place.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's extracting.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
And I'm sorry, but you probably felt like, I fixed him up.
That was the last time. And by the way, I got a new contractor too while I was at it. Needless to say.
Well, you don't have a future as a or whatever. Whatever you say.
That's right.
Yeah, that was the best I could do.
And it was pretty good.
This didn't start out any way I thought it was going to, but that's okay. Some of the best things don't go as planned. This is Turi Ryder. We're talking to her. I know her. I've worked with her, by the way, now that we're into this. And Turi is, oh, wow. You have a storied career, is how I would describe it.
That means I made it all up and it's a big fat lie.
Oh, no,
I'm teasing.
No, because I could fact check a lot of the stuff. You wrote a book. She said what? Which
That's a big book.
It shouldn't be that big. They made the type too big, and they put these fun little microphone icons between the chapters. And if they do another printing, which they're getting close to doing, it'll be a little smaller.
I like the font size. I think it's
well,
great.
The older I get, the more I like the font.
Yeah, well, maybe that's it.
Maybe it's that.
I was like, oh no, I can do these 1.50s. I don't need the 2.0s for these for this.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
you're only a 1.50.
I was until I went last week again. So here we go. I mean, the downward fall just continues. She goes, you really got to bump it up. Maybe even a 2.25. I'm like, this is Friday afternoon. You just shut up. I don't need one more thing. Anyway, she said, what is the name of your book? And this details your extremely colorful and extremely successful radio broadcast career. I have to say, I knew you did a lot. I knew you were capable of a lot.
Yeah, I'm capable of a lot. And yet you let me into your studio knowing what I am capable of.
Oh, believe me, we accidentally let someone in the studio that we regret. You are not one.
Wait, no,
stop.
that
person.
You must tell me without names so that no one can come back and bother you. No,
we'll tell you off mic.
Oh. Can't you even okay, so here's my rule.
Here's what we'll do. I'll tell you now and I'm going to edit it out.
Okay, because here's my rule about this. Changing the names of people and businesses and places lets you tell either more of the truth or bigger, better lies.
Well, you told a lot of the truth, and you did change the names of the stations and the people.
So I don't get sued.
But in this case,
very
you want
to make sure you don't get stalked. Is that the problem here?
No. This is no. I will literally tell you and edit it out. So pause for this brief station break.
Back on
and
the
we're
air.
back. When I was reading through your book, I kept trying to identify because we followed not similar paths, I wouldn't say, but we were geographically sometimes in the same spots. Because I was in California. I was in Seattle too, but I wasn't on the air there. But you were.
But from California.
But from California, that's right, because you had an ISDN line.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then of course in Chicago we're in the same, but I kept identifying but you started in Chicago, but I could not figure out that first one, your dream one. I'm thinking to myself, was that a different one? And I couldn't figure it out, and I'm not going to say it because we're going to keep this all so you don't get
Nobody
a lawsuit.
wants to be sued. Nobody wants
to be sued. But I was trying to follow her career, and I went, I know a little bit about where Turi's been, but not that much.
Well, there's no reason you should make a study of my life and work. I mean, you've had your own stuff going on, and you've been instrumental to legends of the Chicago radio world. So, and your name, everybody knows who you are in this town.
I guess.
Everybody knows.
For good or for better,
everybody listens, and everybody knows.
But my point is that we really admire. I didn't get to hear a lot what you did when you and I worked together.
Because you were asleep. Because the girl job's the middle of the night.
See how I was trying to explain to Holly about how that worked. I said, I never really got to hear Turi when we were both on this station. Can I even say that one?
You can. Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Well, I'll say this one. But except that you mentioned this one in the book.
I don't really give a crap anymore. Most of these guys are dead now.
Well,
so
this particular,
well, they drank themselves or coked themselves, or
boy, isn't that the truth?
Wow. Yeah, a lot of them,
or pedophile
themselves.
Yeah, right. So I think I know kind of who you're talking about with that because I remember hearing something weird. But
this is a really good story. I'll have to tell you when because his dominatrix turned him in.
Oh,
is that in the book?
No, because it's not mine. It's his story to tell.
Yeah, I remember the dominatrix part in here where you interviewed. And you went to the dungeon.
Yes, well, yeah, it was a hotel room, but yes.
Oh, hotel room, which could come dungeon, whatever. Yeah, I have to tell you, I enjoyed every word of your autobiography. Which really,
mammoth book stop, 50-pound.
Okay. That's what it is. It's an autobiography.
It is, and it's wonderful, but it's mainly focused on Turi's radio career.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And what I was going to tell you is my publisher has a name for what this book is.
Oh, what is it?
There is a technical term for it. It's called, I had to look it up, a roman à clef.
Oh, roman à clef.
And what that means is autobiography for which we plan not to be sued.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly right.
That's what that is.
That's right. I've heard that term before. That's right. But anyway, I loved the stories. Even you don't even have to be interested or have been in broadcasting to want to read this and to hear about it. It's also on an audiobook on Audible.
I read that sucker myself. I will say this about the book.
Wow.
Why would we not have her read your voice? I mean, come on.
Well, that's like telling a basketball player, you're so tall. I mean, you know this for sure, Lisa. When people come to you and they say, I think that I could do this work because all my friends tell me I have such a beautiful voice.
Oh, yeah.
How badly do you want to punch them in the face?
What I do is I just nod my head and I go, well, why don't you just look into that? And then I think to myself, well, because if you say something negative, then they think you're just being, I don't know, like discouraging them from doing it. Like I could care less. Go for it if you want the heartbreak and you want to have to move around and you want to have your career be up and down and down and down and up, up, up. Because let's face it, that's what it is. Well, you hit the highest highs and the lowest lows, and sometimes they're in the same year.
That's one of the reasons that I think it's a ridiculous question. But it also...
But they don't know that.
You would never... This is what I call I can fly the plane syndrome. I fly all the time. I fly for business. I fly for pleasure. I mean, what's to it? You go up, you go down. Right. I could fly the plane. Let me fly the plane. Well, everybody says that I am so good at finding things and I have a great sense of direction. And why can't I fly the plane? And yeah, you would never do that. No other occupation would you say, oh yeah, all my friends tell me that I'm really good at putting on Band-Aids. Let me do that appendectomy.
Right. That's right.
Nobody would have may I say balls upon your podcast?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Nobody would have the balls to say that in any other profession. It's a profound disrespect for what it takes to actually have your career.
Or in your career.
It implies that there's basically nothing to it.
Right. It's like, well, I can talk, so I could do that.
And that's the other one with TalkRadio.
Like, go. You know what? You go do
Blessings
that.
on you.
Blessings
on you. On your way. I love when they do that. I'm like, I have so much fun. I kind of mentally jot their name down. I would check in 6 months. There's a very nice guy I know from other things. He's a really nice guy. He has the fanciest law degree you could have. He has a career in corporate law that I'm sure corporate lawyers would just go to the red light thing over because it's just such a,
sauna.
He had here's the he had the chutzpah.
Oh yeah, chutzpah. It's a
come
great
up
word.
to me at a party and tell me that he was doing ads for his friends that I won't say what business and how much fun it was and he was going to do more of that. And I'm like, okay, that's great. And I think that I'll just go to lawyer.com next time I need.
Exactly.
If I said that to him, though, and why do we need you anyway? Because why can't I just go get a form for everything online?
Yeah.
And what I say to people when they tell me that I have a nice voice, which weirdly happens more than it should.
Wow, no, you do. You have a wonderful voice.
I don't. What I have is a flexible voice.
What does that mean, flexible?
That means that if I need to, I can sound like that.
Yeah, I do those things too.
Means that if I need to, I can sound like that.
Ooh.
It means that I can do a lot of different things, as can you, and presumably can you, with your voice, because it is a tool.
It is a tool.
But it is much more important what comes out of your mouth. And really, the case in point for that, and I've told this story, and I'm going to tell it again. There was a talk show host in New York City. Her name was she's no longer living, Lynn Samuels. And Lynn Samuels talk like this. You listen to Lynn Samuels. She was on WABC. She was fantastic, but she talked like that. And everybody told me I should listen to Lynn Samuels when I was in New York because it wasn't on the internet. Well, I turned on Lynn Samuels, and she was talking like that. And I thought I was going to rip my hair out. But they said, no, keep listening. So I did. And after you get a callus on your eardrums for that accent. And on top of that, the people who are her audience, they all talk like that. So what do they? The first time I was on in New York and a bunch of people called who said their names were Vinny, I thought they were joking because nobody in Chicago is named Vinny. Everybody in New York.
Everybody.
Every other body. Yeah. So after a couple of hours, I quit hearing the fact that she talked like that. And I really enjoyed what she had to say. And she had just slamming ratings, and she was much beloved in her city. And it really made the point to me that if you have something to say, it matters far more than whether you can say it sounding like that.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
And if you can say it sounding like that, you can also get away with saying a lot of really awful things.
And they do.
And you do. I don't know about you personally.
No, I don't think I do.
I got fired for not being willing to come into work every day and sound like that.
Can you talk about that job? Is that one?
Can I talk about
people
which
dead?
now?
The one with the, because I'm trying to remember that part of your book. Which one they
Where
wanted
I said
you
I didn't want to have children, and the spouse said if you can fake it till they're 8, that part.
Fake being a parent, like just get them through to 3rd grade or something.
Well, I had my first very, very late. How old were you when you had yours?
28.
A baby. I was 40 when I had my first kid because it took me a really long time to find someone I thought I could stand to live with until I was 70 maybe.
That's where I related most to you on your journey to find someone.
Have you been with the same person?
We're about to have our 31st anniversary.
Okay, so you've not had multiple.
Gosh, no,
marriages.
this is the original model.
Oh, good.
No,
good.
I'm talking about the leading up to, you know, the hunt.
Oh, no,
the
I
search.
sorted through them like one of those scrolling things that gets. You went through the list of. No, that's not true. I was a serial monogamist. Is what I was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think everyone I thought was worth my time usually got at least 3 or 4 years out of me. But by the time you're 40, that's a lot of 3 or 4 years.
Right.
And I excuse college because that doesn't count.
it's
College does
college.
not count.
You shouldn't be serious then anyway.
No, not at all. But after that, every 3 or 4 years. So I wasn't a bed hopper. And I always had optimism. I thought maybe this would be.
Well, how did you meet the one?
Save the planet.
That's in the book, actually.
It's in the book,
It's in the
baby.
book. But the short answer is, and I tell women this and guys when they're looking to meet someone, I say, why don't you volunteer for something? Because then you'll meet someone who's interested in something besides himself or herself, or these days themselves. You will meet someone who cares about the community, children, pets, politics, whatever is your
things
jam.
that you are interested
And giving
in as
back.
well.
But they're not just building up their bank account.
Right.
And they're not just acquiring fancy cars. And I mean, I love a fancy car as much as the next person, but it's not the goal for me. And I didn't want a guy for whom it was the goal. And maybe I erred a little too far in the other direction. Remember the bicycle. But so you wanted to know about the kid thing when I decided to have kids? Is that what
No,
you...
I think that
How did I decide?
Holly asked.
Oh,
So
how did I decide?
How did you decide on the one you have now?
Ooh, I went to therapy.
Oh,
I went to therapy and I said, here's the goal. I would like not to be bored with a really nice guy when I meet him.
Isn't that a great
Yes.
I don't know, goal? Right?
It's a great goal, but it's also, it shows that, you know what, you're very
Well,
serious.
she knows what she wants.
Yeah, and you went to a therapist to
Yeah.
get some guidance. And people didn't do that before. They
Well,
didn't
she was also mature enough to know,
Right.
this is what I know what I
Exactly.
don't want. Here's what I really do
I've
want.
lived through what I don't want.
Right.
What do I?
Yeah.
Give me some hints. But that was very mature. I wouldn't hear somebody going to a therapist for those reasons.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Well,
think they
but
do.
you had your first kid young, so you found your spouse young. So
Right,
you
but-
were a better sorter than I am. You're a better sorter. You
know
have a
that.
natural, apparently, from what you're saying, you have a natural compass that points you in the right direction.
See, so despite your background, you knew what to look for.
Okay.
Or the opposite of where you came from.
Or the opposite.
What to
It
look
It was
for.
the
See?
opposite where I came from.
And I tried that too, but
Yeah.
it doesn't
I
always
married
work
the
out.
family because I'm like, your family is
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
A lot of people do.
I just go,
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of people do.
And-
And you know what? That's not necessarily a bad call.
Mm-mm.
No, they're a great family.
If they raised a great kid.
Mhm.
And there's no guarantee, by the way. You
No.
know, but sometimes I
But
tell
I
my
was
kids,
just
this
so-
will not be a reflection on me now if you screw this up.
Right. Don't do that.
Now you have 2 children.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm lucky that way. And you have
3.
3?
Mm-hmm.
I would have had a third, but they pulled up the gangplank after the second one. I was that old.
Oh, pulled up the gangplank.
It was my very last egg. It was like my
Really?
cherished last.
Wow.
I think pretty much. So you want to know how I know?
I
I
okay,
love the way-
I asked that in wonderment, like, really? Like, did you really know that? Like, as if I'm looking into her ovaries. you
Right.
know?
I was picturing the doctor going at the childbirth of the second child.
That
going,
was your last
Okay.
egg.
No
Well,
more.
between the first and the second one, I called up my doctor and I said, I think I'm going to need to goose the system. I'm going through perimenopause. And he said, how old are you? And I said, 41. He said, peri my ass.
Oh.
That's a little early for the big M.
I loved my doctor. He was very candid with me.
Okay, because he'd maybe seen...
But he was right.
Maybe he'd felt your ovaries and said, I don't know, I'm only feeling one
like
or two.
milking a cow?
Well, I remember one of my doctors told me that, and I said, fine, can you get rid of them all right now? Squeeze them out.
So you had some sort of procedure done so that you were done, or you just took nature, let nature take its course?
No, I did not. Oh no, I didn't do that. I was just very careful. But I remember I was getting a pelvic exam, and I said, "Can you tell how many eggs I?" He goes, "Not really. I could extract some."
They're very, very small,
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And he had to do a procedure, but he goes, I don't think you have a lot. Because he was looking at my FSH and LSH. So, yeah.
You want to explain that for men who are listening?
Follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone. Yeah, which talks about how your body is releasing how much you have left. I was asking because of osteoporosis, because I'm like the poster child for that. But that was that. So
that's how you found out.
That's how I found out. And I was like, yeah, good. Don't have to worry.
Toss out the diaphragm. Toss out the pills.
That was that.
Remove the IUD. Toss.
Oh, I would never get an IUD.
Gosh. I loved my IUD.
Oh, really? Because, oh my gosh, there was a girl in our dorm room freshman year. She got one put in. All we would hear her was like crying all night for a week until she finally had it taken out because it was sticking into like points of her uterus. Just terrible, or womb, or what part does it go into?
Okay,
uterus,
for those who are still
vagina.
young, if you are listening and you're still young and you're thinking about this, have them cut the string really short.
Okay.
Yeah, that helps.
I believe you. This was also...
Not everybody is our age who's listening to your podcast.
That's true.
You know?
This was 1974.
They're smaller
so
now.
They're probably better now. But
you know how you can tell who's our age? Because we look at the Tesla logo and we go, that looks a hell of a lot like a Copper 7.
Oh, yeah.
Like a what?
A Copper 7, it was a real popular IUD back in the day.
And if you want to know what it looked like, just like the Tesla logo.
Oh my God.
But Elon Musk, who wants to have billions and billions of babies,
he would not.
He wouldn't know what a Copper 7 looks like because a pox upon any girlfriend of his who was using one. Apparently,
how dare you bar my sperm from inseminating you?
That's right.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's a generation of us that when those cars came out, we would look at the logo and just go.
See,
I've got to pay more attention to those Teslas. I have a girlfriend that's younger, and she has had an IG for years. She's in her 40s, and it was great. And I was like, oh my God, they're still using IUDs? Like, I didn't know younger generations were. But
they're great.
No, she thought it was the best thing.
Fantastic.
Well, I just had PTSD from hearing this poor young girl screams down the hall.
Well, maybe she's just a whiner.
I think she actually had.
Maybe she had it put in incorrectly, or maybe she just wasn't. I mean, anecdotal evidence is just anecdotal evidence.
True.
So
I mean, we were just.
And you kind of wonder how she would have screamed in labor and delivery.
Well, we'll never know.
Which would be the alternative for some people.
Yeah. Well, I think she came up with an alternative. I'm sure because the pill was out, And, But before we move on from
IUDs,
I have nothing.
I've totally moved on from IUDs. By the way, I am now well beyond the IUD.
Oh yeah,
I took the pill. It worked for me. There was somebody. One of the pseudonyms in your Romaniclef is somebody that we both interacted with. And I particularly enjoyed her name.
Would you care to share that with the class?
Yes, I'll have to refresh my memory.
I have a feeling I know who this is.
Delaney Biscuit.
Delaney Biscuit. God bless Delaney Biscuit.
I think I flushed when I read that.
What was
passage.
your interaction? You want to first tell about mine if you need to, and then I want to hear yours. I live for the moment of making famous people read my book.
Well, let me preface this.
Yes.
Set it up. This was OJ, during the OJ time. Okay. And that was, it was a blessing when we were launching this entertainment talk thing in 1994. It was a gift. So we did that for a while. Nobody was promoting us. Nobody was doing anything to get us help launched off. We had a built-in topic all the time. But then they decided, Disney bought ABC Cap Cities. And they went, you know what? We don't want to do this anymore. So bye-bye to everybody. and we're going to go dark. But what they wanted to do was keep that part of it alive.
The OJ part.
The OJ part alive because it was
Okay.
the big stinking story. So
Yep.
by this time, it's late spring of 1995, I think.
I think the OJ trial went on for,
Went on for
I don't know, I think
God.
a dog's entire lifespan.
I mean,
Right.
yeah. So they kept Turi on, and she was. Why don't you describe it? Because you were
Were
doing
you guys
updates.
on the same show?
No,
No.
no.
Same station.
I was same station,
That's right. You were night. You were
and I was doing morning.
Okay, I got it.
I was co-hosting morning with Robert Murphy, a delightful man. I don't know what you're expecting.
He's always been a gentleman, and I
Always a
don't hear
gentleman.
much of him for the same reason I didn't get to hear much of you, which is there are two
Right.
jobs for women. There's being on with the guy in the morning, if you don't mind me saying that.
No, I mean that's what I did. That's
or
what I did
there's
my whole career.
being on in the middle of the night. And in talk radio, and for me at that point in my career, I was able to negotiate being on in the evening, which was better than being on in the middle of the night.
Overnight,
Right.
Yeah.
So at least theoretically. So I was
So-
doing evenings.
So you were doing evenings. So Turi was. We didn't get to see or hear each other or see each other either.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't come home from work at 5 o'clock and go to bed.
Right.
No.
So if you get off the air at 10 o'clock at night, you're not in bed till 2 in the morning.
And I'm getting
Okay.
up at 2:30 in the morning,
Right.
and I'm out
So
of
you
there by
guys were
10.
Ships that passed in the night.
Yeah.
Where are we going with this?
So
Turi is going to
Okay.
explain.
the OJ,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
then you're
Yeah.
going to read the OJ thing. So similarly, I had discussed OJ somewhat, but because it was my talk show and because my talk show was lots of different lifestyle things, I talked about it some, but not always. But I had talked about it with interest. And so when they decided to turn off the station, they decided that what they would do was move all of their listeners over to their other station that did talk, and they would just do the station they were turning off as all OJ all the time. And they came to me and said, "You're going to do all OJ all the time."
Oh,
And at this point, I was planning a wedding, and I thought, fine, screw it. I don't like it, but
you
I
needed the
can't.
money.
I needed to pay
Right.
for a wedding, and there's only so much I can fight right now. And right now, I'd like to fit into a wedding dress, and I have other things on my mind. So I said, okay. And then this is what happened. This is
Okay.
gonna read.
So let me think where I should start. At the same time, on this particular day, is when Timothy McVeigh, remember
the
Okay.
Unabomber.
the Unabomber? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
Okay.
was an enormous story.
Yeah.
Okay. And it comes on, and rightfully, any person, even if you're not like a hard news person, any talk person, anybody, they're going to do that, even if they're just doing it in a headline.
Right.
Okay. So
Oh, yeah.
it's a ripe topic for Turi.
Well, and it's important. You just look irresponsible.
yes.
It's the biggest
don't.
domestic terror attack in U.S. history
Yes.
at that point.
Right.
And to carry on talking about OJ's glove it would make me look like a complete and total idiot.
Exactly.
And I wasn't going to do it.
So take a look at CNN. The board operator barked into my headphones. I looked up and to the right, where against a backdrop view of the Chicago River, I could watch any of the 3 TV screens. The soundless photos were horrifying. Take a commercial break, I ordered. This is Turi saying this. And sprinted from the studio to find my boss, the program director. Then, remembering he was out of town for the week, I made a quick right into the office of his assistant, Delaney Biscuit.
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 You're a
excuse me.
Dominique. You should know a biscuit.
I should. I should, but I didn't want to be, too.
Oh, totally
too-
biscuit.
Okay.
Like a muffin.
Biscuit, a barely qualified but loftily titled assistant program director, had limited experience, but a huge ego. Delaney, I breathed out the words on a rising tide of adrenaline as quickly as I could. There's been a massive bombing of the federal building in Oklahoma City. I have to talk about it. It will make no sense to talk OJ with an American government building on fire and people being carried out in body bags. Will be a laughingstock if we don't switch to cover it. That's not what you're here to do, Delaney Biscuit sniffed in my direction. Your job is to talk OJ. You will continue to talk OJ. You're asking me to give up any semblance of professional integrity and do something on the air that's actually wrong, a disservice to our listeners? They can talk about Oklahoma City on our sister station. You will talk OJ.
Whoa.
Gets better. Go ahead. This is the good part. You're skipping the
This-
juicy part.
Oh, I'm not skipping it. To me, that interaction,
That was real. That happened.
Wow.
primo. I could hear my commercial break ending. I bolted back to the studio, stuffed my headphones on my head, took another look at the smoking ruins of the Murrah building. Murrah building?
Murrah.
Murrah building. It's been a while. On the screen. And I asked myself, whether I had any remaining professional self-respect whatsoever. I opened my microphone. If you haven't heard yet, a few moments ago, someone blew up the Murrah Federal Building. It looks as though a lot of people are dead. It's tempting to start jumpy conclusions, just as it's tempting to stick with our standard ideas about blame in the O.J. Simpson case. Let's talk about your assumptions when you see crimes. Let's ask ourselves, what's my first idea about who blew up the federal building? Do I suspect Arab terrorists? Does it occur to you that they could be American terrorists? Why do you make the assumptions you make? It's just like when O.J. Simpson's wife and her friend turned up dead on the walkway of the luxurious neighborhood after a friendly lunch. You had assumptions and ideas about who was the most likely killer. On the other side of the studio's glass window, between the TV and the view of the Chicago River, Delaney Biscuit charged into view. Delaney was a larger woman with a pulpy body, pale skin, acne, and a dandruff-festooned head of short black hair. Her clothing choices ranged from unfortunate sweater sets to plaid skirts that may have been suitable as school uniforms, and she actually sometimes wore knee socks. But at this moment, what was most noticeable about Delaney Biscuit was her face. Just outside my window, it was becoming quite red and very sweaty as she jumped up and down in fury, waiting for my next commercial break when she could enter the room. I carried on giving the phone numbers a few times, slowly steering the OJ listeners over to Oklahoma City. Within seconds, Delaney Biscuit, sycophantic assistant to my actual boss, barged into the studio. The fact that she was in the studio didn't stop her poodle-like jumping motion. Rage had made Delaney into a bouncing ball of pure anger. You can't talk about this. You have to stop. You have to talk OJ. I am the boss. I am the boss. That is when I formed the belief with which I still hold to this day that anyone who has to scream at you, even without jumping up and down, that she or he is your boss, is definitely not your boss.
That's it.
Wow. That is written so well. Just the part I heard here where I have such a great visual of the whole situation going down. It reminds me of the Howard Stern movie when the
Pig vomit?
Yeah. Well, I think is it Pig Vomit where he's
Who
on
was
the
passed
air?
away. Yes.
Pig Vomit, yes.
Yes.
And he's and
Yes.
Howard's on there swearing and
NBC.
and I could picture the whole thing in my head. You did such a oh my god, I'm
It's Delaney
very
Biscuit. So what was your interaction with Delaney Biscuit?
Well,
You got to tell it now, girl.
I'm still talking to her.
Ah!
Because she was my program director at the other station that was supposed to be for women, and women only want to talk about chocolate and shoes. Remember, were you there? Did they bring you on that
No,
one?
oh God, no. But I heard about it.
Yeah.
So do you want to set the stage of what went wrong with that station?
So this was a group of 4 men in finance, one of which became our governor. GTCR, that was it. Formed, it was whatever that name is for a group of men with a lot of money who want to try something, or a group of people. Let's just try this. And they decided, well, let's just change the format of this. And we're going to, woman's focus station.
Talk for women.
Talk for women. And we're going to hire mostly women, and we're going to pay them what they're worth. And I have to say, that's the only time that I actually, because I left WLS to go to this station, FM News, but it was woman focused, female focused.
Mm-hmm.
And we were supposed to be able to call the shots.
Question.
Yes.
Who was running that station? I mean, actually running that station? Consulting the station? Giving the orders?
He's not dead yet.
He's a he, right?
He's a he.
Shocking news!
And he's one of, I can't say his name because
He's around.
He's still around.
And very much around.
And he's, I wouldn't call him female friendly.
Mm-mm.
No, I would call him on the naughty
that's
list.
generous.
Oh, okay.
I think that's a generous. So I don't want to take your story
No,
away, but
no,
I want to
doesn't
set the
matter.
stage by saying this is going to be talk for women as imagined by men.
That's right. Because really, women just want
okay.
to, talk about
just
chocolate
wanna-
because they like it, and shoes because they always like to buy them.
Oh
I'm
my
not
God.
kidding you.
Wow.
Really.
Wow.
And they had us do, the first week we were giving away chocolate bars.
Oh, how insulting.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And
No brains. Women don't have brains.
well,
we can just do
it
the
wasn't
chocolate and the
sold
shoes.
that way. When
That's
I
about
left
right,
the job,
Holly.
I wasn't sold that way. It was sold that female-focused topics. And one of the women that they hired that I was going to initially be paired with for mornings, they ended up pairing her with a guy.
Oh, really? Shocking.
Yeah. But I was, it was when I came over because she was really smart. And she was definitely all for it. And she was also disillusioned. That's how the station was sold to all of the women who were there, and even the men who they brought in. But as it ended up being, after I'd signed the contract and I'd, given my notice, I was too late then. At least they were paying us decent money. But then immediately it changed to all these men starting to come in and going, yeah, and we want to talk about this. And the women are going, wait, no, we said we would talk about, we had lists of topics of things that we wanted covered.
Right.
Equal pay, birth control, all the things that we sort of had touched on today. Everything changed. And this group of men, very conservative men, had decided, no, that's not the way it's going to go. And then it flip-flopped. Every 2 weeks, we were this or we were that. And they kept saying, well, no, now we're going to be more like the news talk station. We're like, what? Some of these people don't even have really that much of a news background. Oh, no, we're going to do that. And then, no, we're going to do this, but make it more,
girl-friendly.
Girl-friendly talk. That's right.
Warm.
It kept changing over and over and over again. And honestly, at the end of the year, when they canned all of us, there were like 100 of us. I was happy. I was terrified because I really needed the damn job. But I was happy to not be living in that BS situation.
Hellhole.
It was a freaking hellhole.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think that's what started some of my autoimmune issues, because it just pulled this tight every day. You never knew who was going to come in and yell
Plus,
at you.
you're not on a good sleep schedule when you're working, when you work.
No. And I was
Probably
doing
not sleeping at that point because the stress level.
But then my shift started changing.
Oh.
And so
That's
I'm
another
like,
fun thing they like to do is move your hours around.
but see, you experience that a lot. And I was always mornings. So I was used to that. But then all of a sudden it's like, well, no, you're going to come in at 8. I'm like, okay, well, that's not that bad of an adjustment. I can figure that out. But then it was like, yeah, but on this day, and I'm like, wait, what do you mean this day? And I couldn't take it because physically, I'm not strong enough to handle those kinds of changes. So it was like a living hell. It really was.
Yep.
Anyway, that's just my story.
There were 3 or 4 women who could have consulted that station who would have been great. A couple of them still work today. And they approached, when they heard about this idea, they approached the backers and said, we can help. No. We know what we're doing. We know what girls like. We know what girls want.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think I have an idea who you're talking about, probably a couple of the women, and they would have steered the ship. I have, as I'm listening to you, discussing this, I'm thinking of, this is going to sound a little odd, but my youngest, one day, I don't know if you've had this experience, Holly, where you pick up the kid's phone and there's something on it that you wish you hadn't seen.
No.
Do you have girl or boy?
I have 2 girls and a boy.
Okay. So we were visiting our son and I couldn't find a phone and I needed to look up something. And I think his phone looked like my phone and I picked it up and whoopsie, there's a picture there with a little something that, and I just got quiet for a second and he said, Mom, I'm a 19-year-old boy. And I said, okay, I have to give you some basic information now. This is clearly, if I haven't given you this information before.
Girls are smooth down
about
there.
About porn. Here's what you need to know. Number 1, no girl wakes up in the morning and says, when I grow up, what I really want to do is be a porn star.
Right. I can't imagine any little girl waking
no
up.
No little
and
girl wakes up in the morning and says, may I speak very candidly?
Yes.
I want a video all over the internet of me being gangbanged by 21 men. No woman. I don't know if that was on his phone. I have no idea. I didn't look at it long enough.
Yeah,
I didn't even say that to him. I said,
no
girl wakes up in the morning and says, I want to bleep on camera for
not one.
Not one. So that you need to know that these women either have had problems that are causing them to find this as a solution, or point B, a lot of them are trafficked and they're not even there voluntarily. And the third thing, and this is really important that you learn it now, those videos are put together for the benefit of men. And they're going to show you things that purportedly women like, and some women may, but probably not many.
Right.
So do not use these videos as a primer on what to do with a girlfriend. Should you have one? Don't tell me if you have one. Just know that this is not a training manual for how to behave in a relationship.
Right.
Right. So this is what happens when men are displaying women. What you got was women talk radio as men imagine women want to do.
I knew you were going
talk radio.
Right.
It's like
Yep.
porn. It's put together for their enjoyment and their entertainment. And whether you liked it or not was not important to them because they were paying you to look like you liked it.
That's right.
And that's an awful feeling. And the fact that you hung in there for a year, I mean, can I stand up and still be recorded on this thing? Good for you, because it's always easier to find a job when you have a job.
Right.
Yeah.
And so there are times when, did you ever go to the circus and see those women who like appear to be hanging on by their teeth?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a lot of what radio is like.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such an excellent portrayal. Yes. That is what it's like. It feels like that every day, all the time. And God forbid I went on vacation. Ooh, such and such filled in for you. Sounded good.
Yeah, that's what happened to me with OJ.
Oh boy.
It was fine. I mean, there's a woman I know in the business. She's still around. And I knew that because their whole thing with the OJ stuff was we don't want to be inconvenienced in any way, shape, or form. So I went on my honeymoon. And when I came back, the person who was filling in, like, fine, enjoy the 4 remaining weeks of work until I didn't care.
Yeah.
But that frequently happens where I don't know of too many other jobs where you go on vacation and your replacement is expected to take your job.
No, or
Right.
just because they decide on a whim, that person's, and we could probably get her for
Half of what we're paying you, right?
Yeah, because she's so hungry.
This is so fascinating in terms of the backstory of the radio industry. What I understand, that's
This is the nitty gritty, girl. We're giving
I
it to you.
think it should be either a Netflix show or a movie deal. So I hope they come rolling in for you, because just the little blips I'm hearing from this book, I'm like, I could picture it just if it's done right. Just a really fascinating
Got an
story.
agent in mind?
I wish
I'm
I
s-
did.
She's right.
But I would love to. I'm going to read the book.
I felt the same way
Because
after reading it, but
it's
she's right.
I've never really heard the backstory of how women were treated back in the day up to now or whatever. I don't know how far you go with this to today's world in radio, but I just think it's fascinating, and you've written it so well and so descriptive. Where
Oh,
I am
the whole book is like
visualizing
that.
everything, and wow.
They're
I'm
doing a
just-
little of it. What's the show with Jennifer Aniston in it?
Morning
Morning
show.
And doing a little of kind of a version for TV
Okay,
of
yeah.
that. This is different because in a weird way we get more freedom because nobody sees us.
Well, the WKRP in Cincinnati
right.
was sort of a fun version.
There
That was like a
was there a
fluffy-
woman on the air at WKRP? I think
Wasn't
not.
it
There
Lonnie?
was not.
Yeah,
Wait,
shocking.
Wait a minute. Wasn't there? Wait,
No,
Lonnie?
there was Lonnie Anderson.
She was the
sexy
secretary.
sexy
Oh,
receptionist secretary.
okay.
And
That was
Bailey
kind of
was a
fluff.
producer. Bailey
Okay.
was a producer.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's how it was.
Yeah. It
was
They can fuck
kind-
right off.
Right. And that
Sorry.
that's sometimes
There you
how-
go.
that's-
Is my language offending you? I want to make sure.
No.
Okay.
Oh, God, no.
Oh my God, no.
You see, you haven't been around me. I have a filthy mouth.
Well, you don't. You edit it out on the podcast. I don't hear much of that on the podcast, and I
because
have listened.
Our topics haven't been.
F worthy.
No.
Mm,
We,
Not really.
this is, I like getting bare bones, balls out honest. But we were trying to keep it up because in my.
This is up. This is up. Look at how up we are. God damn it, we're up.
I mean frothy light, like maybe
Oh.
not saccharine, but a little because frankly, the last, for me at least, from my opinion, my standpoint, has been really dark for the last year and a half plus.
I'm sorry.
And so, no, I'm just talking about the world, and the situation.
Ah.
And so that's been really, really harsh. So we were just trying to keep, well, let's just do this because it'll be fun for us. We don't have to really, because both of us, Holly has a very demanding sales job, sales position, career. And I have a very demanding dog walking career.
Can I just say that salespeople, you will love the part of the book that's about sales. 'Cause I have
I love
so
sales.
much admiration for the salespeople.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear no when I'm looking for a job. You hear no like 20 hours out of every 24. And the fact that you can pick yourself up and dust yourself off and go, well, it's just another way of getting to yes. And I read the columns that are written by the salespeople, and I think to myself, I don't have what it takes. And I had to do it very briefly. And it was a condition of being on the air that they also wanted me to sell time. And I had even more appreciation for what that takes because I can't do it. And I think I'm fairly competent in many areas. I don't have that skill. I can't tolerate people who are talking nonsense to me. I can't talk about people. I mean, I just can't. And I don't know what you sell. May I ask?
Well, I do sell I sell to interior designers.
Oh, that's nice.
Fabrics, lighting, and so forth. I cover 2 states. And when I started my business in 1992, it was hard. Because I moved here from California.
You've been doing it that long?
So now
She's very successful.
That's amazing.
Well, at 5 years, I almost said, I can't do this anymore. My husband luckily said, no, you're going to make money.
Cusp.
You're going to make money this year. I'm like, oh my God, we were big borrowing and stealing for the babysitter. And
wow.
But then it's about relationships. And I've had a steady customer base, throughout 32 years. So it's great now, but it's dog eat dog. You have to go out there and just.
And you have to like people, right?
You have to like people.
I fundamentally don't like people.
Hard. That's what's hard for Turi and me.
Yeah, and you have to like people.
You have to like people.
I don't like people, damn it. I don't know.
don't-
I've just knocked my headphones right out of the
Don't
thing.
go into sales.
That's how much I don't like people.
But no, I love
And
what
she's
I
a
do.
good connector, so she's good with that stuff.
You have to network all the time.
So,
Really-
but the fact
really
that you
cool.
can do sales, I have so much.
Well, thank you.
I have to also be careful, but I lost a really good friend this year who was in sales all his life. And I think he died of rage and fury. And I loved him. And his politics were very different than my politics, which was fine. But he, I think this is true of middle-aged white guys now. The world has changed for them.
Oh, yes. I would agree.
And my friend was really prescient. He believed in women's sports way before. And he formed a network and he was going to market women's basketball and women's soccer. And he was about 15, 20 years too early. And he
That is
put
forward thinking.
all his money into it. And when it went under, he went back to look for a sales job. And he was very qualified. And because he was a middle-aged white guy, the doors were just slammed in his face. And he got angrier and angrier, and a bunch of other stuff happened. And I just had so much respect for the fact that he was out there and believed in the things he believed in. And he died recently, and his politics were so deeply held that he was jettisoning friends and saying, well, if I can't talk about this with you, you're not my friend. And I found out when he died because I showed up at the hospital and I helped with his wife who was ill, which was another reason he was angry.
Goodness.
And what I found out was he had junked most of his friendships. And when I spoke with these people, they said, well, he was unwilling to be my friend if we did not talk about politics. And he was grandfathered in, but the world has changed, and he would have been he could have sold. The irony of it was that I was working at a place that would have been very grateful to have him selling for them, but it would have gone against everything that he believed in, and he would have just completely exploded. And I have so much respect, though, for what he accomplished and what he did, and the fact that he never gave up, and the fact that he was a big supporter of the things he truly believed in, even if I didn't believe in any of them. He committed. And as a salesperson, I could never be that. But the salespeople I know who are really outstanding, apparently like you,
Well,
They have to be quite
they come
malleable
to that
to a degree.
precipice. And
Yeah.
when anybody else would give up, you said, I'll give it another year. I'll give it another try. I don't think we really need to have steak, whatever it takes. I really admire, and a lot of people on the air have no idea where their money comes from. They don't know who's out there. And I was guilty of this too. I made the mistake of effing over the salespeople early in my talk career. And I should have been more grateful, and I should have been more appreciative.
Paying your bill with the ads.
Yeah. Well, that's another part you can read about where they changed format. It had been a top 40 station, and they went to talk, and it was a dying AM station, and nobody was listening to music on AM anymore. And they quite rightly thought they would do talk, and that was
Is it
fine.
the SF stations?
No,
Services?
and they
Okay.
thought that they would keep all the salespeople. some of whom did not believe, most of whom, probably all of whom, none of whom believed in the product at all.
Oh, okay.
And that was very hard. And so instead of really working with them to help them understand the product and meeting them where they were, I just got angry. And I blew up the 12 Days of Christmas promotion.
Oh, okay. I tell you, that was a wonderful chapter.
I did a bad thing. I did a really bad thing to the salespeople.
But you know what? Reading it, because it's not
you understand where you're
it's
coming
funny.
from.
But living it, not funny at all.
Well, it was fun at the time.
It was kind of, yeah.
It was fun when I did it.
But I remember reading this going, oh, this is good.
Because I shouldn't have had that much fun at their expense.
Yeah.
I mean, I really should. You want me to tell you the story?
Yes.
Okay.
Stay tuned for the rest of the story, part 2, next week. Thanks, Harvey. Ladies Who Question is executive produced and edited by me, LiseDominique, and also executive produced by HolliCaulfield. Holly does research, and I do social media. Music, My Lionheart. Sketch music by Florian Manx and Matthew Anderson. Ladies Who Question is on Instagram and Facebook. Give us a like and a follow if you would, and leave us your thoughts. You can also visit our website, LadiesWhoQuestion.com.
All content discussed on Ladies Who Question are the opinions of LiseDominique and HolliCaulfield and should not be construed as advice of any kind. By listening to this podcast, you agree not to use this podcast as advice of any personal or medical issue for yourself or others. This disclaimer also applies to guests or contributors to the podcast.